What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today we have my friend Nick Parks F80 M3 in Silverstone, and we just installed a full catback Turner Motorsport stainless steel performance exhaust system on this car. We just finished all the work up at CES Motorsport, and of course, if you guys are interested in any performance parts or installing, tuning, dyno, hit us up. I'll have links to all the products and everything down below. But today we're gonna talk a little bit about this exhaust system specifically on this car, because I think it's gonna be one of the best in terms of price, quality, fitment, and exhaust tone. Let's hop in the car, go for a ride, and then we'll get some external sounds for you guys. It's going to be good. All right, so here is the car, Silverstone F80. This thing is absolutely beautiful. Silverstone's got to be one of my favorite colors for this car. It just pulls it off so well. And like I was saying, man, this car has the full Turner Motorsport catback exhaust system with the stainless steel tips. It looks so good against the silver. But I was really happy with the way that all of this turned out. From the fitment to the quality to the price and to the tone. I think it's going to be one of the best ones on the market based off of everything that I've installed personally, I've heard personally, especially paired with the catless downpipes and everything that this car has. It sounds really, really good. Hello friends, welcome back to another video. We are in an F80 today. My friend Nick Parks sent us his car because he wanted to take care of his current exhaust setup, his previous exhaust setup, I should say. He had a Dynon mid-pipe and the MPE muffler, which was titanium and cracked like they all do and making a bunch of noise, and he just overall wasn't really happy with the sound of the car and wanted something a bit more aggressive and fun. So we ended up going down the rabbit hole, figuring out which exhaust we wanted to do. And the first thing that came to mind was, well, we could do the active single mid pipe, and then we could do the Dynon rear section. However, the Dynon rear section was out of stock, and we didn't really know when that was going to be restocked. So we decided to go a different route with this one. He did have the Dynon midsection, but just wasn't really that great of a midsection piece for this car. So we ended up doing the full Turner Motorsport catback exhaust system. So all the way from the catalytic converters up, basically downpipes up. This car does already have catless downpipes in it. So that is something to be wary of. You know, you're gonna get a little bit more rasp when you end up going that route. I didn't really know how this was gonna sound in the end, but after hearing it, I'm a big fan. The fitment is really, really good on this exhaust, and it's important for us and myself to be able to install an exhaust and actually go through that process before I obviously recommend it to other people, because the last thing I want to do is recommend a product to people that doesn't fit well. And a lot of times we run into fitment problems with different company exhausts. I'm not going to name names, but I've pretty much seen it all when it comes to installing exhaust and having like the worst garbage fitment. This one, I didn't quite know what the end product would be like, but it turned out really, really good. And we were all super happy with the way that it looks. I also really like the fact that we went with the silver tips on this one. I think the silver tips are a bit underrated. They look super classy, and I just like that polished finish, especially against the Silverstone F80 M3 paint code. It just looks phenomenal. It's really, really clean on this car. I showed Nick the finished product, the owner of the car, and he's like, man, now I want to do like polished wheels. I want to do so it completely changed the whole vibe of this car. But it looks really good. And most importantly, the sound. Dude, I am really happy all the way from fitment to quality to the sound of this exhaust. It is, yeah, it's definitely a very good way to go. And last but not least, it's affordable. This entire exhaust system is like $1,600 bucks. So it doesn't have any crazy drone, but it sounds really good. Right now the valves are open, so it's a bit more rowdy, but it's not over the top. It has like a really, really good, clean, like daily drivable tone to it, which I think is really important when you are adding these sort of pieces to your car, because you can definitely go too far. In my GTS, I thought that that was a pretty good tone, and I'm gonna do some side-by-side comparisons of my GTS exhaust and this exhaust setup when we get into more of like the revving and all of that. But the GTS, it sounded good, but it always just had a bit too much like tin sound to it, in my opinion, and there was a lot of rasp in that setup. This is not an equal length, this is not a single mid, it's just a standard catback exhaust system that's stainless steel, and it sounds phenomenal in my opinion. So that's kind of why I decided to make this video. Originally I wasn't even gonna make the video, but I just was so happy with the way that it turned out. Felt like we should make one. Makes me want an F80, man. These cars just drive so good. Super fun. So if you guys are in the market for an exhaust, I know that everyone just like says, oh, this is the one to buy, this is the one to buy, you got to get this, you got to get that. I highly recommend checking this out. For the price, the quality, the fitment, and the sound, I think that this is probably one of the better options. Exhausts nowadays, they are expensive. I have seen exhaust prices go way up over the years, and you definitely don't want titanium. God, this thing's fast. You don't need titanium or any of that. I think with the F80s, the stainless steel always sounds the best. That's just my opinion. I think once you get to the titanium sounding exhaust systems, they're a bit too thin and like raspy and tinny sounding. And I don't know, for these cars, it's better to stick with stainless steel. The thing I also really like about the Turner design is it's very simple. The entire design is only a few pieces, so it's very easy to install. And there's also one resonator that they put in the middle section, in the center mid pipe, that in my opinion makes a really, really big difference in the way that the tone sounds versus just opening it all the way up. If you were to go to the equal mid or the single mid by Active, that's open all the way through. And I think that having that one little resonator in the center keeps at bay some of that like bee's nest like raspiness that you get out of the S55, and it just makes it sound much more refined. So many people say that the S55 sounds so bad. Personally, I disagree. I don't think these cars sound bad at all. I've actually always really liked the way that the S55 sounds. In my opinion, I think these cars actually sound pretty good. I've never really had an issue with them. I think people can make them sound worse though, for sure. You can definitely go too far and make them sound kind of crappy. But yeah, there's like no droning, none of that. We have everything open right now. So now it's closed. It's very quiet. I mean, this is like the perfect setup So it retains the factory valves from the factory BMW exhaust. So you still get all of that functionality with it. And you can just switch it over, open it up. Then you get your rowdiness back. Man, that sounds good, dude. I love it. I personally think that this sounds phenomenal. I was pleasantly surprised because, you know, initially when Nick was looking for a setup for this car, I was like, man, really, I've only tried active and dynon. And the one thing about the dynon rear section, I do like the dynon setup, but one of the problems with that is the fitment on the dynon mufflers, for whatever reason, always seems to hang very low. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that, but on my M2 and my GTS, that muffler, for whatever reason, always hung super low. It was almost like they welded the hangers for the muffler like an inch too long. If you would take an inch off of it, it would be almost perfect. For whatever reason, I've noticed that across all of those. The active mufflers, I've just never really liked the way that they sound. I've never really liked like the design of them. But this Turner exhaust sounds and fits flawlessly. Like, I had enough room to adjust everything right to where I wanted it, and the tips are like the perfect size. They fit perfectly in the M Performance, the stock diffuser, the carbon one. It just looks so freaking good. It was like the right setup for this car. I was pleasantly surprised when I saw that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you're interested in buying the exhaust, I'll have it linked down below. All of the information for CES Motorsport also going to be linked down below. Huge thank you to my buddy Nick Parks for allowing me to film his car today. But that's going to wrap this one up. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.